Cheers everyone and welcome back to Instant Screaming. Looking for some movies? Let's check out Dark Was the Night and Starry Eyes. Dark Was the Night is a creature feature smashed headlong into a tragic family drama centered around a small-town sheriff dealing with a personal loss and estrangement from his wife when his town is invaded by a creature who starts off stealing livestock and pets before trying to munch on some of the long pork, if you will. Also featured are the sheriff's deputy who recently moved to town from New York City for reasons that are obfuscated for far too long, and a handful of townies, some relative non-entities, and a small handful of mustache-twirling bullies. Now, I enjoyed this movie mostly because when it did land a hit, it did it with a great visual style in the framing and editing of scenes. But it definitely missed in a few different ways. The backstories of both the lawmen are deliberately danced around for way too long, so that when they're finally revealed to be as simplistic as they actually are, it kind of felt a little overhyped. Now, that's not to say that they're uninteresting characters. The sheriff is particularly compelling because of a pretty good turn by Kevin Durand, but it did begin creeping a little bit over the line into melodrama, though there was pretty good balance between the dramatic character study stuff and the monster mystery plot. There's an environmental message here that's touched on but not too overplayed, and I say this during an election year when anything that resembles a political message in a movie pisses me off. Now, the worst part of this movie is the absolutely atrocious monster CG. There are a few shots of a practical creature, and while a nice break, they make it clear that the movie had way more ambition than it did budget. And I feel like the ending could really rub some people the wrong way, depending on how invested they got in the sheriff's character. I feel that's vague enough to not be a spoiler. Now, all that said, it seems to me like the issues that I had with this movie could be easily explained by just a last-minute scramble to extend the runtime without actually spending any more money on creature effects. So the backstories were dragged along, and we kept taking breaks to delve into character drama. Now, with that, it's a testament to the skill of those involved that it didn't really feel like a hodgepodge, and although the runtime did feel a bit long, it never completely lost my interest. To recommend it or not is a tough call, but finding something that focused more cleanly on either the character drama or the monster side would probably have been a better decision for the production. Now, moving on to Starry Eyes, this movie is a little bit of a trip. The plot here follows a young actress as she lines up her big break in Hollywood and makes some somewhat disturbing discoveries about what it takes to make it in town. Now, at the surface level, it sounds like this could be kind of a glossy thriller about Hollywood decadence and immorality, and there's also an odd bit of that kind of indie kid, young and aimless life aesthetic, where the characters are hanging out on like dingy couches and in abandoned backyards, but when the movie kicks into gear, it is a very rapid descent into paranoid madness, and then it keeps going. Starry Eyes is some sort of weird, hellish, body horror Lovecraftian cult nightmare. It's hard to describe the movie without hitting any of the events and getting into spoiler territory, but it's trippy. I enjoyed it a lot, but there's a pretty unique and unhinged aspect to it, which makes it really interesting if you're looking for something a little bit different, but it's hard to figure out exactly what you're in for, or where the thing is going sometimes. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today on Modern Horror. If you've seen either of these two movies and want to weigh in, do please leave a comment in the comments section below. If you have any suggestions for movies that you'd like to see on this show or on Modern Horror, also leave that in the comments below. Follow us on the Build Environment Facebook or the Build Environment Twitter for updates. Like and subscribe to this for more videos. And cheers, folks.